Hey, hey everyone. Hope everybody's doing amazing. Hey, so I'm just setting up to go live on Facebook as well. So I'm on TikTok and Facebook, TikTok. Hope you guys are doing amazing. Hey everyone. Hey. Hope everybody's doing great. Today we have a great topic. Very informative. Because this is an issue so many women are having issues with when it comes to their womb healing journey and being on their womb healing journey. Okay, we're live on Facebook. Okay. Hey everyone. So I'm on Facebook, y'all, and I'm on TikTok. Okay. Um, on. Sorry, but hope everybody's doing amazing. Hope everybody's doing great. Just give me 1 second to I'm trying to make this public on. You see, I always struggle with this. I'm still kind of new to doing this whole setup. Okay. All right. How are you guys doing, by the way? This live is gonna be on obstacles that hinder our womb healing process, obstacles that get in the way of us getting rid of our fibroids, getting rid of our PCOS, getting rid of these reproductive health issues, heavy bleeding. This is really important for us to know because so many women are wanting to be on their womb healing journey, are healing their womb, but they're still encountering so many issues, so many obstacles in the way. So we're going to talk about some of these obstacles so you guys can get clear and get focused. Okay. I'm trying to get on. I'm struggling on Facebook over here. Okay, there we go. Okay, we go on Facebook. Facebook, if you're here, please let me know if you guys can see and hear me. Please, y'all be engaging today. Let me know if you guys can see and hear me. Put a one in the chat. I don't know why it looks blurry on Facebook. If you guys can see and hear me perfectly. If not, come over to TikTok. Okay, so hey everyone. All right, for those that are watching me new for the first time, make sure you guys give me some likes. Give me some likes, give me some likes. Okay. For those that are watching me for the first time, my name is Sasha. I'm a holistic womb specialist, and what I do is I help women who have reproductive health issues such as fibroids, such as endometriosis, such as PCOS. I help them get to the root cause of the problem, such as infertility as well, in order to heal these issues naturally, in order to get to the root cause and eliminate fibroids, eliminate cysts, eliminate PCOS. Because we don't have to live with these issues forever. Okay, so that's what I do. Love what I do. Thank you. Please give me some likes. Okay, so give me in here. Hope that I want to talk about obstacles that are getting in the way of you getting rid of your fibroids, that are getting rid of your ovarian cysts, that are getting rid of your PCOS. Facebook, if you guys are in, if you guys are listening to me, let me know if you guys can see and hear me perfectly. If it's blurry, please let me know. I'm on TikTok and Facebook. Okay, so let me know, y'all. All right, so give me some likes, share also on Facebook, use likes as well. Share the video if you can. So, what are some obstacles that stop us really that get us, getting to the finish line as far as getting rid of fibroids? There's so many women out here that are wanting to do this naturally because maybe they've had surgery before. They know that these issues do not go away. The underlying issues do not go away when you have fibroids. When you don't get the problem, and they do that, things are stopping them. They're stopping them and getting in their way of doing that. Okay, so let's get it up to at least 500. It's really important that we clear the blocks so that we're able to get to the goal of healing our womb, get to the goal of getting rid of PCOS, endometriosis, of healing. Okay. One last time, Facebook. If you guys can hear me, put a one in the chat. If you guys can hear me perfectly, let me know. Say something. I don't know. Maybe they're gonna hear me on Facebook. I don't know what's going on. But TikTok, okay. So what you want to do, right? What we want to do is a lot of women, an obstacle that's really hindering their progress is they really are disconnected from their bodies. Thank you so much for the likes. There's a disconnection from their bodies. Okay. I don't think they can hear me on Facebook. I'm gonna just log off. I'm gonna just log off from Facebook. I don't feel like dealing with this today. I'm just gonna log off from Facebook, y'all. Okay. There we go. So we're only on TikTok right now. But anyway, so when it comes to that, when it comes to healing your body, right? A lot of women are very disconnected from their womb. And when I say disconnected from their womb, what do I mean? I mean like we're running to the hospital to get tested and checked, right? And we're not actually looking at our body's symptoms and knowing something's wrong. Like, for example, a woman would tell me she'll be dealing with fibroids. She'll be dealing with, heavy bleeding. She'll be dealing with what she thinks is perimenopause. And don't log off. People just don't be interactive. I'll go check. I don't know if they were able to hear me. So that's why I just logged off. It's too late now. I already logged off, but thank you, Sanya. Can you check to see? I'm like, was I clear? Like, Facebook is weird. I don't know. I don't have the patience for it. But there's a disconnection. So when your body's showing you something, when you are dealing with, fibroids, when your body's showing you heavily bleeding, when your body is starting to give you those signs that things are off, you need to trust that. So getting tested, like understanding that these tests are not all the way accurate, these and relying on the test more than your symptoms that your body's showing you, that's a huge issue. So there's a disconnection from the body when we're more reliant on testing and not relying on our symptoms, not relying on, we feel on an intuitive level something is wrong, but we're not relying on that. We're relying more so on the test, the pap smears, the hormone testing, right? So I always get a question about hormone testing, the blood test. And I'm not telling you not to do that, but women that understand that women that are heavily reliant on that, they're always the ones that have the most reproductive health issues. Understand the correlation. And I know because I was there. Women that are running to the doctors all the time, they're getting checked. There's no trust in their bodies. There's no connection to their bodies. Those are the women that have the hardest time with these reproductive health issues. Okay, because they don't have a connection with your body, and your body wants you to, you have to understand that it's so important as a woman to be connected with your hormones, to be connected with your body. When you just don't understand what's going on, and I know that the system has set it up that way, that's gonna cause a lot of turmoil in the body, in the mind. You have to have a connection with your body. You have to understand what is going on, and that is when your body is showing you symptoms. Believe your body. And don't just think everything that is normal. That's one other thing too. When your body's in pain, understand something. This is information. Something's there's an underlying imbalance. Understand and don't just sit there and think everything is normal, because we think a lot of women are still thinking in 2024 that cramps are normal, and they're not. They still think that heavily bleeding is normal, and it's not. Your body is showing you that it's out of balance. You have to trust what your body is showing you. Okay, so another thing too that creates this disconnection is a lot of women feel shame. They hate their menstrual cycles because of all the stuff that they're going through. They feel shame. Maybe when they got their first cycle, it just wasn't a good experience. So that's another thing too. It's so important to understand that your menstrual cycle is actually a gift. It's not a curse, and a lot of women don't look at it like that. Okay, y'all give me some likes. Let's get to 1,000 likes on TikTok. Okay, give me some likes. A lot of women don't look at their menstrual cycles as a gift, because your body is letting you know, it's showing you, it's giving you feedback. That's why it's a gift. It's kind of like your blood pressure. It's kind of like your heart rate. It's giving you feedback of what's going on in your body. So if your menstrual cycle is horrendous, it's because of the imbalances, the toxicity. It's your habits that's actually causing that to happen. So then that means that you have to make some changes. You have to, so that doesn't become worse. It doesn't develop into a reproductive health issue, as it has with many women. Okay, emotional during period in pregnancy isn't normal either. When you say emotional, what do you mean? What do you mean when you say emotional? Do you mean you just feel, there's a difference between I'm just feeling a little bit emotional, I'm just more, more secluded than normal. There's a difference between that and I'm extremely emotional. Because I've heard women tell me that right before their cycles or during their cycles, they feel like unaliving themselves. It gets to that bad. So I've heard that go on. So it depends. Let me know when you're being by emotional. Now during pregnancy, those things are normal, but it shouldn't be a huge drastic shift in your normal emotions, if that makes sense. Okay. So for those that are coming in, we're talking about the things that hinder your womb healing process, your womb healing journey, the things that actually get in the way of that. Okay. So if you have any of these reproductive health issues, you're on a journey to heal them on your own, you're definitely going to want to stay tuned and definitely listen to this live. Okay. Because this is not going to be a replay. And also like the video as you come in. Make sure you guys are following me as well, especially if you have these reproductive health issues. Okay. So it's really important. We have to build a connection to our body, build a connection to our wombs, not sit here and hate our uterus, not because we have women that are promoting hysterectomies and there's like a hysterectomy propaganda going on, but don't get me started on that, making this whole hysterectomy thing popular. They're kind of promoting it in a way. So you want to be really careful of that, because whenever we talk about taking out a major organ like that, then we're creating imbalance in the body. I'm always crying and sensitive right before my period. That sounds like PMS. That's how I know I'm about to start. That sounds like PMS. And that's an imbalance for sure. That sounds like PMS. And PMS also is, can manifest as you're holding a lot of things in emotionally, just in general, like a lot of emotional suppression. It could be things that happened in the past. It could be a lot of trauma that you're holding in. And during that very sensitive time, as your hormone levels are going down, it's, those things are more so triggered, because you guys have to understand the body keeps score. The body keeps score. So when we hold things in, when we don't process things, it expresses in our body as symptoms. Okay, so hopefully you guys, especially in the womb space, especially in the womb, because the womb is also very, just like it's a physical organ, is also energetic as well. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. Another thing that gets in the way is stress. This is huge. High stress levels. This is huge. This one is definitely something that a lot of women struggle with. And it is partly because of the whole, our society, the society that we live in, right? Stress is, women are always stressed. You have to understand, when you're stressed out, your cortisol levels are spiking. That is going to cause your progesterone to decrease. So then what happens after that? Then unfortunately, this creates an imbalance in the body, right? So when that is occurring, over and over again, you're always stressed out. Like, for example, if you're working in a very stressful job, if you're working in a very stressful environment, if your home life is very stressful, right? If you're in stressful relationships, if you're entertaining stressful relationships, right? This creates like that fight or flights, you to be in a fight or flight mode, and you not to feel safe in your body. You not to feel that your body also too, that causes an imbalance in the body after that. So that's why a lot of women, when they're under stress, they start emotionally eating too. They're not taking care of themselves. This actually causes you to prioritize yourself last, and you see your health start spiraling. Okay, you start to get symptoms, and a lot of women think that they're in perimenopause, they're experiencing that. They don't understand that. Listen, what was actually the trigger to these symptoms, and a lot of them will see that it's stress. Same thing with fibroids. The trigger to fibroids tends to be stress. It usually happens and occurs during a time that when you weren't taking care of yourself. If you really think about it, if you really break it down to when you developed the fibroid or when you were diagnosed with fibroids, it was developing in a time, when you weren't taking care of yourself. Now, a lot of times, a lot of women will go through years not taking care of their body, and then something extremely stressful will happen, and then boom, that sparks the plug for fibroids to occur. That sparks the plug for their PCOS symptoms to express, to display itself, and just a lot of chaos and toxicity in the body. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. And for the ladies that are watching, do know that we do have our womb wellness detox coming up in a couple of days on Thursday. If you haven't, just in case you haven't heard about it yet, we have our womb. It's going to be on Zoom. It's going to be at 6 o'clock on Thursday. I'm really excited about it. And a small group of ladies on Zoom where I'm teaching you how to get rid of toxins in your womb, how to detoxify your body every single day, because a lot of women are just relying on things like detoxes and those things, and you go back to your bad habits. But how do we get our body to the point where it's detoxifying itself every single day? How do we remove toxins from the womb that actually worsen fibers, that actually worsen heavy bleeding, that actually worsen? This is really important. So you're learning how to detoxify the womb space. Okay, so that's going to be on Thursday. I'm really excited about that. If you're interested in joining, be sure to click the link in my bio to join, to register. It's $97. We have a few people that registered. I'm excited. It's gonna be a great Zoom class. It's gonna be about 90 minutes long, and you will get the replay. So just in case you're interested, check it out. You guys know my master classes and my workshops, in case you guys haven't been, are amazing. Okay, so that's just in case. Now, so you want to really work on the stress that what is actually the cause of the stress, right? You want to think about that. You want to work towards that, and you want to work on managing your stress levels better, because much better than you are right now. Because what's going to happen is that you're going to notice that your health gets worse as you the more stressed that you are, the more you allow yourself to allow stress to affect you. You're going to notice that your health gets a lot worse, your symptoms get a lot worse, the bleeding gets a lot worse. You're going to notice that the symptoms get 10 times worse. I struggle with getting my periods, PCOS. You're going to notice that. Okay, you're going to notice that you may skip periods. Your symptoms just present a lot worse when your body is stressed, because you're causing your progesterone levels to plummet. Okay, so understand that, and understand that you have to find better ways to manage your stress levels. You have to start making yourself a priority and stop making yourself last on on your list. Stop making your health last on your list. A lot of women do that, and that's a huge issue, and you will pay for that. If not now, then later. Okay. So thank you guys so much for the likes. So PCOS can be healed naturally. How do you manage to deal with stress? I get this question in almost every live. First, pinpoint where it's coming from. Because if it's coming from one person in your life, or is it coming from a job, then the number one thing, pinpoint where the stress is coming from. Once you do that, it makes it so much easier to manage stress. But what can we do on a daily basis to manage stress? Get sunlight, because sunlight really helps with with our hormone levels, and also too it helps us. There's healing properties in the sun. Going out in nature, also journaling, also listening to binaural beats helps me out. Meditation. There's so many things that help with stress. Indulging in creative outlets, that's very important for women. Whether it's dancing, singing, indulging in your favorite creative outlets. Because a lot of women, they used to, for example, they used to dance, they used to sing, they used to, sew. Like, they used to have those creative things, but then when life happens, it's like we just throw those things away, and you want to start indulging in them again. Like, because you have to understand that with fibroids, when we have these womb healing issues, it's blocked creativity on an energetic level. Okay. So we want to open that back up again. This is going to help with the healing process as well. Okay. So number one, pinpoint where the stress is coming from, because it's coming from a multitude of places. And when women really break it down, more times than not, is typically things that they can control. Right? We just feel like as women, we have to take on so much, and we have to put ourselves last, but you don't. Okay. So stress will worsen your symptoms. It will, feed those fibroids. Stress, like, you have to really take control of that stress. Okay. You have to really manage your stress levels. And if something is stressing you out that you can control, then I need you to control it and get rid of it. Okay. I don't care what it is. All right. And handle it. Okay. Information overload. This one is huge. This is another thing that will hinder you from healing the womb. Information overload. And I see a lot of women get stuck right here and they're never able to move the needle when it comes to healing their womb. They're never able to move the healing when it comes to balancing their hormones, when it comes to getting rid of, their reproductive health issues, because they get stuck right here. And information overload is that when we are gathering up so much information, right, and we don't apply any of it. And typically when women are they're all over, because we live in an information age, right? There's so much information out there, especially when it comes to healing the body. There's so much information, especially when it comes to healing the womb. There's so much information out there. It can be very confusing. So if you don't focus on the important things, the protocol, and you're just so worried about, they say garlic water heals fibroids. They say that, like, when you're all over the place, those type of women, typically they don't get results, because it's hard for them to apply it, because implement what they've learned, because it's so much information. It's like all the information contradicts each other, right? So be very careful of that. My only stress is singleness with no children. I'm 37 years old with fibroids. I'm so happy you said that, because I get this a lot. Naoma, hopefully I'm saying your name right. A lot of women tell me that they're stressed out, they're a certain age, no kids, they're single, and that stresses them out. Let me just say this. And I actually wanted to do a mini program dedicated to something like this. I wanted to, let me know whether you guys would be interested in this. Put a yes. It will be like a program where it's going to be like, how does your reproductive health affect your relationships, and really be going into that, how to, how to, number one, better your relationships, because I'm getting so much information from women, single women too, women who are in relationships, married, and having this issue really get in the way of their relationships. And also too, I'm hearing from men now that are saying that their exes had this, but they didn't know how to navigate it because they didn't understand what was going on. So and I'm also hearing too from single women tell me that, there's an insecurity there due to being single, right? Due to being, because society says after a certain age, a woman should get married and everything. Allowing society to set up your life for you. That's one thing too. So let me say that, and put a yes in the comments if you will, if you want a program that's dedicated to how your reproductive health affects your relationships and how to overcome that. If you, and also talking about singleness as well, if you would want a mini program, if you'd be interested in that, like, and that's something I was working on, but I wanted to make sure that's something that you guys actually want before I put it out there. But that's something, if so, I would want to put out like next month. So I don't see no guesses on here. So I'm assuming, okay. Is it something that you would invest in too? That's another question as well. Okay. So, okay, a couple of yeses. I know we don't have that many people on here. It will be a mini, okay. I'm getting some yeses. Okay. So maybe I should put that out. Okay. Maybe I should put that out. Okay. So let me, I'm happy that you said the single thing. This is gonna be a long one, but let me just go there. Women that have fibroids, remember I said there are energetic reasons for fibroids. One of those reasons is codependency. Not feeling content unless you have somebody. That's number one. And I'm not saying that it's wrong to desire a husband or a boyfriend or whatever. I'm not saying that. But I'm saying that feeling discontent, like feeling sadness because you don't have somebody, right? So typically that comes from not feeling, there's a lack of love. There's a lack of, I don't want to say self-worth, but there's a lack of love for yourself. Because if we truly love ourselves, that will be clear whether we have somebody or not. You can desire something, like you can desire $1 million, right? But should you be miserable without it? No. Should you be depressed without it? No, right? But you can work towards it, right? So, or you can manifest it, or however you want to say. So we should look at, I'm sorry, marriage, relationships the same way, right? When you put things on such high of a pedestal, that actually can cause you to it causes you to be in this state of need and almost, I don't want to say desperation, but almost desperation, right? So why we have to frame ourselves, why are we stressed, or why are there's insecurity there about being single, right? Because when we're healthy, we can have a child in 40, 45, even late 40s, when your body is healthy. So instead of the focus now being on getting my body healthy so I can, number one, have a healthy baby, I can get rid of these fibroids and rebalance my hormones. The focus then goes to, a relationship, kids. We're not even in a healthy state, right? So you have to understand that broken does attract broken. So if we're not feeling, women that don't feel content within themselves, they tend to attract men who are also broken, who also have low self-worth. And those, when you are unhealed and you attract somebody, you're going to attract somebody else that's unhealed. When you're codependent, you're going to attract somebody else that's codependent or that's feeding off your codependency, right? It's never going to be a happy situation until you are happy and content within yourself. And this is what I see as well too. A lot of women too, they don't like, maybe they're in their 30s or 40s, they don't like their lives. Whether it's they're stressed out, they're overwhelmed, financial difficulty, they just don't like their lives for whatever reason, right? That's something that they've created themselves. So then we think, okay, now if I get a man, that will, cause me to not have to look at my life or have to repair my life. He would come and save me. You have to understand, nobody's coming to save you, right? So this is why I tell women to design a beautiful life for themselves. I don't care if you're married, single, in between. Design a beautiful life for yourselves, regardless, right? Design. That's why we're so. And we're gonna talk about that too in the workshop on Thursday. I'm gonna touch on that a little bit on the workshop on Thursday. It's so important for women to design a beautiful life for themselves, so that they're not so reliant on who is there and who isn't. And the same thing with friends too, because sometimes on this journey you may lose some friends, like you, because they're like, wait a minute, you're over here, healing your body and stuff and eating healthy and things like that, and they're not doing that, right? So you may also lose friends. So being content, whether and knowing that you're going to attract whoever is for you. So hopefully that makes sense. But that was a really good question. I get that one a lot, and that's why I wanted to do the program, the mini program on relationships, on reproductive healing, and also to include into that being content in your singleness, right? I'm not saying that you're gonna, you're making it so that you're gonna be single forever. No, but I'm saying that designing a beautiful life for yourself so that you're not you're not waiting, because I don't believe in women just waiting until waiting to be happy until they get married. I don't believe in that. And that society will project that onto you. I don't know if you're in the States or you're in another country. Let me know, Naoma. But society, and this is for anybody that's feeling this way too. I know there's also other women that are feeling this way too. Society will project onto you women should not be happy until they're married, like in a subtle way. And women actually internalize that. They won't say that to men though. Notice that. So you have to notice, so this is why you have to start questioning things. Like, why can't I be happy? Why can't I live a good life unless I'm married? Okay. So hopefully that makes sense. And ladies, if you feel like that, let me know as well. Because that codependency, that need to have, that's also a wound. And a lot of time you're in Seattle. A lot of times, I'm gonna be honest with you. This is something I told myself years ago too. So I'm not just telling you. Years ago, what happens is that a lot of us did not receive enough love and attention in childhood. So then we grow up as adults seeking for that from men. Okay. So that's what's really going on. So because of these wounds that we're still kind of internalizing from childhood, we didn't get enough love in childhood, enough attention, maybe from one parent was absent. There's an abandonment wound there. So we think that a man is supposed to feel that, but that's actually, when you are relying on that, what you attract tends to be broken men, tends to be men that don't have your best interest in heart, tends to be men that are using you, tends to be what they call narcissists, right? I don't like that term because I feel like people use that too loosely, but that tends to be, because I always ask women when they're in these horrible relationships or marriages, what state were you in before getting into that relationship? What state were you in before that? And typically it's either desperation or I wanted to get married, and there's nothing wrong with wanting to get married, but what's if you are in this sense, like waiting, and you're not living your life, and you're not doing what you like to do, you're not traveling, you're not, what I mean, you're not living a full life, that's a problem. I know some women who literally 10, 20, 30 years of unhappiness just because they're not married, and they're waiting to get married before they're happy. That's absolutely ridiculous. Life is too damn short. Yes, it's sadly so empathized within Middle Eastern culture. It's not just Middle Eastern culture. Yes, that's definitely a thing in Middle Eastern culture. It's also in African cultures. It's also in Caribbean culture. It's in every culture, even in the States too. Especially if you're in the South, especially when you're in the South. It's also in the States too. They tell women you're nothing, you're not married, but you guys can't internalize that, right? And then add to that the codependency, the lack of love in childhood, right? Then all of that stuff is just creates a whole. This is why women are choosing men who don't really love them. This is why women are also in a sense kind of begging men for marriage. When I say begging men for marriage, I mean you get into relationships with men and maybe they're taking too long, and that it shouldn't. That's what I'm saying. It shouldn't be that, right? Men are actually supposed to ask you, and because when it comes to marriage, and some people feel differently about this, but it benefits men more. Okay, I'm sorry. It benefits men more. So with marriage, women should look to marry men that actually are going to add on to their lives, not take away from their lives. But most women are not looking for that. They're just looking to, oh, I love him. But what about, like, what kind of life does he live? Like, are you gonna, you know what I mean? What kind of life are you guys gonna be living if you're married to him? Do you like his life? Like, because if you don't, you married him, but they don't think about that. Marriage was to build wealth before. That's what it was designed to build wealth. It wasn't just because, you just like somebody's cute, you just marry them and because you want to look good in front of your family and friends. It's not for that. But we've made it to that, and that's why so many women are miserable. Trust me, because so many women are telling me, my last marriage or whatever. This is why I got 5 boys, or I'm in a marriage that's horrible. I'm just like, I'm so sorry. There's nothing really else I can do. We have to be better with. We have to be content within ourselves, and so we can attract better. You can't attract better when you are in a state of either depressed or stressed out because you're not married. That doesn't make any sense. When honestly, in marriages, most marriages, men are benefiting more, even though it shouldn't be like that. But that's what is out here. Men are benefiting more than women. Tell me I'm wrong. Somebody tell me I'm wrong. Somebody tell me I'm wrong. Like, it's a lot of stuff going on out here. But don't look for a man to don't look for a man to, how can I say this? To kind of like solve your childhood wounds, right? Don't look for a man to heal your, like they can't. Like that's for you to do. Nobody's coming to save you. You have to save you. So hopefully that makes sense, right? Because we think that the love a man will give us will heal us from all the abandonment wounds. That's not going to happen. And that's too much. You're putting somebody on too much of a pedestal. They're a human being, right? They're coming with their own stuff. So you have to heal you, right? So hopefully you're right. I'm still waiting on one person to tell me I'm wrong about and why. And I'm not gonna. You can share your opinions, of course. Marriage does benefit men more. They do. Now, back in the day, it did benefit women because they were covered, they were being provided for, like in a good marriage. Women tend to be provided for, and they're not super worried about. But now it's different. I don't know what happened, because married and working all these jobs, or married and like can't afford simple things. I don't know. Everything you're saying is really resonating with me. I gotta do, what this means that I have to do that mini program then, because there's a lot of women that are feeling insecure about not being married, and they're married or in relationships, and like they're not really seeing how their health of their womb is affecting those relationships, and it's really, in a sense, I don't want to say hindering those relationships, but in a sense, creating hardship for those relationships, right? Because understand, if you're bleeding like crazy, right? If you are cramping like crazy, if your hormones are out of balance, that's going to also reflect in your behavior, your brain chemistry, also who you choose as a partner. But that's a whole other conversation. That's going to reflect in so many things, right? How you handle arguments, it's hard to actually be in a healthy, functional relationship when you're dealing with all of these issues that are present with fibroids, that are present with, hormonal imbalances. So we have to address that, and how we can, as we're healing, strengthen the relationships that, we are in. And that could even be with family members. It doesn't even have to be with, a significant other. If that makes sense. Okay. So if you guys are, like I said, I got 3 yeses from the live. If you guys want to do that, are interested in that program, it'll be out by next month, but I'll put it out, very soon. You will see like an email about it. So make sure that you're following me, because I think that would be very beneficial. That's something that I've actually been wanting to do for a while, because I just get so many questions about that, and women that's been in past traumatic relationships too. How can they also start to release that stuff, right? Because that stuff, all that adds up. Especially if we've had 3 in a row horrible relationships and then they went horrible. How can we then begin to really heal ourselves on this healing journey? Heal our womb, because also too, if you have miscarriages, if you had abortions, like those things too, we want to address those things and heal those things. Okay. So, and I'm gonna be honest with you guys, toxic relationships will, and I said high stress. So toxic relationships will also hinder your wound healing journey. Because remember, if the body's in fight or flight mode, if the cortisol levels are up, that's gonna cause the progesterone to plummet. So toxic relationships create toxins in the body. Okay. And then two, just highly stressful situations, always in stress, always in drama, always like we have to be mindful of that. And people, when they tend to not love themselves, they don't have boundaries. They allow people to just, dump on them, and just they don't like. There's certain things that maybe I used to allow to happen before. I will never allow now because of my boundaries, and that's to everybody. Like boundaries, I have boundaries up for everybody. When it comes to but a lot of people are too busy being people pleasers. Women are too busy to, they just want to have somebody. So anybody is better than nothing. Being alone, because again, the codependency that comes along with women that have fibroids, because we didn't abandonment wounds, we didn't receive enough love growing up. So we're looking for that in a partner and a man to fulfill that. So just be mindful of those type of things. Okay. And also too, so I talk about information overload. That's a thing. Also too, random remedies, like random. So when I say random remedies, I mean like if somebody's, we know that we're living in a time where there's so much information out there about getting rid of fibroids, about getting rid of PCOS, about getting rid of, heavy bleeding. There's abundance of information out there, but how much of it works? But when you are, and I'm not saying that to do research, but when you are like trying something new all the time, I'm gonna do yoni steaming today. I'm gonna do acupuncture tomorrow. I'm gonna do these things like yam cream, whatever they call it. I'm gonna do this oil on my belly. This, all of this stuff. Women that tend to like, and trust me, this is women that typically tell me, I've tried everything. I've tried everything. First of all, you haven't tried everything. You haven't tried the right thing. You don't understand there's a protocol to healing, right? You don't understand the foundation of healing. So that's why you're just trying these random remedies. Those women tend to never get results, or if they get results, they don't last. They get some type of result, maybe their period gets better, they don't last because they don't understand like really what it takes to heal the body, heal the womb. Okay, so just be very careful about that. Trying all these supplements, typically I hear women try, I'm on 10, 11 supplements for fibroids. I'm just like, but you haven't even worked on opening up your elimination organs so they can unblocking your elimination organs. You haven't even worked towards that, but you're on all these supplements. So how are these things going to be absorbed anyway? Like, it doesn't make any sense, right? So understand, it's important for you to understand how to heal the body. That's so important, like the foundation of healing. And that's what we're going to talk about that in the workshop on Thursday, the Womb Wellness Detox Workshop. I'm really excited about that. So if you haven't registered, you might want to register. It's in 2 days at 6 p.m. And the replay also comes up. When you register, you also get the replay. Okay. It's $97. It's on Thursday. It's going to be on Zoom, a small group of women. Okay. A limited number of women. And it's going to be amazing. Okay. Typically for these workshops, people tend to literally register the day before or the last day. So getting in now, I only want a certain number of women there. I don't want it to be a huge, because I want to help everybody that's on there. Okay. So, and it's going to be more, I don't know if you guys were in the masterclass last week, the free masterclass, but it's going to be more like hands-on than that one. Okay. Hopefully that makes sense. Lack of prioritization when it comes to healing. This one is huge. Lack of not prioritizing your womb healing journey, not prioritizing healing your body, rebalancing your hormones, allowing everything to and make sure you guys are liking the video, allowing everything to get in the way of your healing journey. So your vacations, your brunches with friends, your people just have a million excuses of why not to heal their body. They have a million excuses of why they can't heal, they can't be on this journey. It's kind of like almost like a weight loss journey, but you're making yourself a priority. And some women have been doing that for so many years. They've literally their health has been on the bottom the totem pole. They swept it under the rug, and now their body's showing them, listen, it's time for you to take control of your health, right? So what I want to say to those women is that make yourself a priority, because listen, for women that are out here, like, you know how expensive medical bills are? I'm gonna just say that. Do you know how expensive medical bills are? So if you don't take care of yourself, if you don't invest financially too in your health, and also if you don't invest in your health, you're gonna have to invest in your health down the line when you're sick, when you develop a more serious health condition. Okay, because hospital bills add up too, medical bills add up too. Okay, so you're either gonna have to do the work now, or have to pay later, Okay. Again, somebody was saying that one of her family members had less young developed cancer, and she's like, talking about all her medical bills, right? She's going through the whole process of radiation and chemo, and she's talking about the medical bills are literally having to stress over that when she already has cancer. Like, that's just, I just felt so bad for her. Heal your body, because these issues do increase the risk of some certain cancers: fibroids, endometriosis, PCOS. These are estrogen dominant conditions that increase the risk of breast cancer, uterine cancer, like ovarian cancer, cervical cancer. Okay, so take it seriously. Stop making yourself low on your priority list. It's very sad that we make our jobs more of a priority than our health. That is very sad. That is very sad. Okay. It is very sad that we make, our friends more of a priority than our health. That is sad. And it's a lack of self-love. And we have to take that as is and make changes. Okay. I wanted to do Q&A. So if you guys have questions, chime in with the questions. So I could, in case you guys have questions or anything I said. I do have a couple more that I wanted to talk about. What is hindering your progress? Like, not having a clear plan and just being all over the place. Understand, like, whenever you're doing anything in life that's very methodically, you have to have a plan. I don't know why we don't think healing, there has to be a plan. We think that we can just go in there and just, do a bunch of random stuff and see what sticks. This is your womb we're talking about. This is your body we're talking about. These are your hormones that we're talking about. Don't be lackadaisical with this stuff. Don't just be all over the place with this stuff. Like, have a protocol when it comes to healing and stick to it. Be consistent with it. Be disciplined with it. Okay? That's very important. That's very important. Don't just try a whole bunch of random stuff and say, oh my God, try everything, it did not work. It works, but you have to, number one, you weren't trying the right things and you had no help. That's another thing too. We have no guidance, no help, and want these quick results. Okay. So if you have nobody helping you doing a specific thing that you have no knowledge in, then what do you expect? What do you expect? Okay. Nobody has questions. Nobody has questions on fibroids, PCOS, endometriosis on the topic. The obstacles that are hindering them. Is anybody on their womb healing journey? Everybody's quiet. I don't know if it's because I usually don't go live this late, but everybody seems very quiet today. Okay. Typically I'm used to TikTok being more active. Nobody has questions. I was saying earlier that I wanted to do a mini program, like a 4-week something container on, and I'm developing it now in background. I'm going to put it out in a couple of days on relationships and reproductive healing, how our reproductive health affects our relationships, and also and vice versa, how our relationships affect our reproductive health. That's another one too, because a lot of women too, and are, for example, single, and they've had relationships in the past that have really taken a toll on their reproductive health, and also too, they're still holding the trauma from the last relationships. And we have a lot of women too that also I'm going to talk about too in that mini program. How do we women that are single, and also too, they feel an insecurity about that, and there's a lack of self-love, and there's a lack of feeling content in the singleness, right? For whatever time you're single and feeling content being alone. Because I'm just like, okay, if you're single, and you like want to get married, like, and I'm not saying it's bad to desire something, but what if it never happens? Will you be miserable for the rest of your life, or are you still gonna have a good life? What if I'm just saying, I'm not saying it's not gonna happen, but I'm saying, just what if it never happens? What if you never get married? I'll ask a question, but honestly, nothing hindering me at this stage. I love that. Be very determined. Just found out I had fibroids last year. Okay. Thank you so much for being here. And ladies, make sure you guys are also, for ladies that have fibroids, make sure that or PCOS or any reproductive health issue, I have a womb wellness grocery shopping list. If you have not grabbed that yet, that's like $11. If you haven't grabbed it yet, click the link in my bio to grab that, so you can understand and know, what am I gonna buy in the grocery store? Why, you can understand and know, what do I stay away from? It's helping women. A lot of women have messaged me and say, thank you for that list, because I now know what to get and what not to get, because we always have a confusion about food. So the list is only $11. Grab it. The link is in my bio. Okay. I've always struggled with being happy outside of relationships. Wow, Summer, are you on my email list? If not, get on my email list, because you will really benefit from this program I'm going to put out. Okay, next month. Well, I'm putting it out soon, but it's gonna be like a couple weeks in September, like in early September though. Which isn't that crazy that it's the 20th? But that's a lot of women. My daughter has PCOS. What do you suggest? So I suggest that she actually she has to restore hormonal balance. She has to restore the endocrine system. So PCOS, it does take a bit, work to heal PCOS. It's not just something that's going to occur in a day. So if you want to know what courses will help her do that, let me know. I don't know if that was what you were asking, okay? Because I have that information in my courses, and we've helped women to my Detoxify Your Womb. And I always forget to talk about my Detoxify Your Womb program. There was one woman who had PCOS and type 2 diabetes. We got rid of both in the program, okay? Both conditions in the program. And her blood sugar levels, her A1C levels, her doctors were shocked, okay? So understand that these issues can be resolved, but we have to, like I said, we have to do it. There's a lot of work to get. You have to understand, when it comes to undoing years of toxicity that in the body, years of waste and toxins, it takes time and it takes a lot of effort, right? It takes a consistent amount of massive action. So healing the body is especially after years of accumulating these issues. That's why when you have fibroids, it's so important to not sit on them. Actually start healing them as soon as possible. Don't wait until they get so bad or it gets so big before you do something about them, okay? Or the symptoms get so bad, okay? Let's see. I don't see any other questions. Just found I have fibroids last year. Make sure that you are healing them today. Urban, make sure that you are on the healing journey today. Don't wait. I don't see any other questions. So hopefully this live was helpful. Okay. Hopefully this live was helpful. If you guys have any questions about the courses, about my Detoxify Your Womb program, that program is the program. This is our 6-month program. It's the program where our top level exclusive program that you come in when you want to completely heal your womb, completely heal your fibroids, get rid of endometriosis, enhance your fertility so that you're able to get pregnant, and so much more, and heal the body, rebalance the hormones. And also too, it's the program where we work on the full woman, and we also help release womb trauma. We release stored up trauma and in the womb, and things that are causing us to develop these issues. Okay, so the woman that you are when you walk in is a totally different woman walking out. We had a client that graduated recently that got rid of 4 fibroids, and had a baby, and she was with me for about 6 months. And also too, in that period was able to have an amazing, postpartum period. She wasn't in pain. Her hair wasn't falling out. She wasn't, leaking blood like most women are because of bad health, right? So it has changed many women's lives. Okay, we had a woman get rid of endometriosis and fibroids. We had women get pregnant after 4 years of infertility. 4 years. Okay, so this program is for women that want to transform their very being. It's for women that can visualize and see the best version of themselves and want to become her. Not just want to think about her and wish to be her, want to become her. The healed version inside and out of themselves. Okay. So can you see fibroids come out? Most times, no. Every now and then, somebody will tell me about like their fibroid falling out. But in my program, women haven't, like, typically the system that I follow has the fibroid dissolve. So then the symptoms will clear up, and then you're gonna see when you go to get an ultrasound or MRI, doctors will see, wait a minute, the fibroid is gone or the fibroid has shrunk significantly. So yes, I would definitely check out your course. Okay, and if you want to know which course would be best, Wendy, email me, because we had a 4-week intensive available. We had the course version of that 4-week intensive. So that would be best for her, for your daughter. So email me, and that will be available until like Saturday. So email me about that. What might go wrong? What might go wrong more seriously if the fibroids are not removed? I'm not understanding the question. Do you mean like if if you just had the fibroid and forever? Like, I don't understand your question. Like, are you saying that if you don't address the underlying causes of your fibroids, what are you saying? What might go wrong in those circumstances? Let me know, Naoma. Okay. Anybody have any questions before we go? We have a womb wellness detox on Thursday. If you want to work with me, looking forward to the relationship work. Yes, it's not a workshop, so it's going to be a 4-week program. I think you told me your name, but Aziza, if I'm not mistaken. Let me know if I pronounced that right. Okay, what happens is that you raise your wrist to. Okay, let's go down. I'm happy you asked that question. I'm gonna have to address this in also a TikTok video. So when you don't remove your fibroids, because I'll tell you guys, perimenopause does not exist. It's hormonal imbalance, but you're going to experience what they call perimenopause. So expect a range of horrible symptoms around 35 to 45. And then during menopause, you're also going to have extremely horrible symptoms because you're dealing with lots of imbalance and toxins in the body. And you're going to think, oh, it's just because of menopause. Or doctors will tell you it's just because of menopause. And that's not the case. It's because of the imbalances, it's because you haven't addressed the imbalances. You also run the risk of developing other autoimmune conditions, thyroid issues, and typically women that have fibroids develop other health issues. IBS, there's so many as well, hair falling out. Like, there's so many health issues that are associated with fibroids when you keep your fibroids, because you're keeping to the imbalances. You're also never going to be happy. I don't care what anybody says. You cannot be happy with fibroids because of that. That's stored up trauma. That's stored up emotional blockages. You're not going to be happy. You're not going to be fulfilled, and all the symptoms that you're going to be going through. And then you raise your risk of having cancer. You raise your risk of breast cancer, uterine cancer, ovarian cancer. You raise your risk of that. So, and then remember, fibroids don't just go away after menopause. Postmenopausal fibroids are a thing. There was a woman on here a few weeks ago that said she was 76 dealing with fibroids. So that's going to be you, bleeding heavily, 60s, 70s with fibroids. Okay. Is it worth it? I don't know. For me, it's not. For the women that I'm sure for a lot of women that are watching this, it's not. It's not. Hopefully that answered your question. Okay. And also to throw into that possible fertility issues, or also passing this on to your child as well, because understand that if you have these toxins in your body, then you will have a child more than likely that will have an early period that will deal with possibly, if not fibroids, maybe PCOS, endometriosis, another reproductive health issue, right? And the kids that are coming up now are dealing with them younger and younger as the generation goes on. So you're breathing also to a lineage of sick people. That's what happens when we don't heal. Okay, you're causing a generational curse in your family. Okay. Any other questions? Hopefully I answered your question, Naoma. Okay, ladies. Register for the workshop. Okay, for the one on Thursday, the womb wellness detox workshop. If you have any of these issues and you want to resolve them and you want to clear the toxins that are causing these issues, then absolutely, absolutely. A lot of people think that, okay, so when it comes to fibroids, I want you to look at the underlying things. So if we have like the estrogen dominance, this is why a lot of children have asthma, because that too is an estrogen dominant condition, contrary to popular belief. Asthma, allergies, right? So we're now, and then you're also too, when you have fibroids, you're more likely, your sons are more likely to have prostate issues, another estrogen dominant condition. Okay, so you're called. So when you are pregnant, of course, the issues that you have, the backed up, the imbalanced hormones, the backed up digestive system, all this stuff is being passed on. Okay, so yes, you're passing on toxicity. You're passing on toxicity. Okay, how many women do we know that have said, that have come on here or just commented on my post that said all the women in their family have had hysterectomies? All of them. Like we have to, like I said, we have, like, if we don't heal, we're literally setting our lineage up for failure. Like it doesn't, like, at this point, if you know that you can heal fibroids and you're just choosing not to do it, I, I feel sorry for you. That's all I'm gonna say. You're welcome. All right, ladies. I'm gonna go now. It's, I know this, like this a little later than